How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this? We want your help. How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this?
Come on!
How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this? How do we get to this? How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this? We want your oil. We want your oil.
The village is a mine. The contract is signed. I tell you one more time.
We want your oil.
Supply no longer guaranteed. We demand security. Running out of Texas team.
We want your oil.
We don't do the number CIA. We want somewhere new to play. Better get right out of the way.
We want your oil.
Civilization birth. Now center on the earth. Welcome to a new turn.
We want your oil. How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this? How do we get to this? How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this?
Swamp, don't be more praise than the president. Flipping and flipping off the target residents of market squares and hospital wards. One big right is saving the way from the heart. One big right is saving the way from the horn, the horn, the horn. We turn the music in, make sense gonna mash your mind out. Pump for bees is gonna burn my eyes out. I'm covering my ears when I won't receive it. I'm trembling in the fear and I won't believe it. Respect on the winter, I feel I'm a reload. Fucking my leader over here, Mr. Pico. Been a refugee like Muhammad Ali, me say. No Iraq ever come back again.
How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this?
A secret never to be told, always to be sold. Digging out the black gold.
We want your oil.
Petrol junkies must be fed. Going barefoot in the head, it says you reach a warhead.
We want your oil.
Tearing the formality, there is no neutrality. Welcome to reality.
We want your oil.
Ignorance is number 9. Mental conscience fall behind the lunatic will lead them blind.
We want your oil.
The lunatic will lead them blind. Hey yo, Bubba Stoops, give us a bad boy bass line, man.
How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this?
How do we get to this?
How do we get to this, Lord? How do we get to this?
Come on. How do we get to this?
Put your hands up.
I never really chose music. I don't think anyone chooses music. You're just drawn to it, you know, because you need to do it. It's a very direct form of expression. I used to make music before I could play anything. Just used to do recordings on an old cassette recorder.
I studied music when I was a child. Studied guitar, but that wasn't out of choice. My parents made me go to learn classical guitar, but I don't know. I've never really used it in the music that I do now. Maybe a little bit. Who knows?
I think you probably do.
I don't know how much of an influence that was.
Yeah. Everything you've ever heard comes out in what you play.
I suppose so. Yeah. But for me, music was never something that I really thought about as a career or any, even before ADF or anything. It's just something I sort of fell into, really. It's not like I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be famous or anything like this. That's not what my aspirations are. I just love playing music, and I was happy to play music then, and it just happens to still do it.